Are you going through a drastic or perhaps traumatic change in your life? You might have chosen this change in the end, or this change might have found you suddenly, knocking you off your feet. In any case, there might be some benefits to this change. Your life might be rid of difficult, irritating, and debilitating details. But you also may be void of comforts, such as others' company and familiarity. It might be lonely, scary, and different. This dichotomy often results in confusion and emotional turmoil. How do we begin to make sense of all this contradicting information? I'm Dana Hicks, a licensed clinical mental health counselor, and I have some tips that will help you find meaning and future direction in the midst of the confusing input we call transition. First, ask yourself, what about my previous situation am I glad to be rid of? Or, what about my previous situation made it not possible to continue in the end? Write those down and then celebrate in any way you choose. So that might look like writing them all down and saving a copy. You'll know why in a minute. But writing them all down and burning them, right? Or writing them all down, putting them in a balloon, blowing the balloon up and letting it fly. Or having a dance party to release all that yucky energy. Any way you choose. Just make sure you make a copy of them. So third, ask yourself, according to each thing you're glad to be rid of, okay, if you're glad to be rid of that, what is the meaning behind that for your future? What do you want to change in your future? What's the area you want to change in? And what specifically would you like to change? And what is the meaning? What's important to you based on all that information? And ask yourself, okay, what does this mean for my future? What do I want to change in the future? What's the area I want to change? What details do I want to change in the future? Okay? And then fourth, name the area where you want to reconstruct. Okay? We're going to reconstruct an area for you. And if you can reconstruct it any way you want it, based on the meaningful tips that you concluded from the last question, and based on your wildest dreams, other than that, what would you like it to look like? The sky is the limit. You could even challenge yourself to include 20 details in this one area that you want to totally reconstruct, totally based on what you want for your future. Okay? And then make an appointment with yourself to do the first thing of transition. Write it in your planner. This specifically is what I can do as a first step toward reconstructing this area of my life the way I want it to look like, right? You might even commit to a space in your calendar each week, maybe an hour a week or something, to dedicate toward this reconstruction, solely toward this reconstruction. So then you don't have to worry about it actually following through because you have reserved that time to make it happen. Also, lastly, make sure you're giving yourself grace in this project of reconstruction. And listen for and look for the opportunities of learning things about yourself that you never knew and adjusting your expectations based on that knowledge. So that might look like planning it to be a certain way at the end, right? But adjusting that as you approach the subject, as you engage in this project. That might change, and that's okay. You can adjust, right? You're adjusting already. Okay, so to review those tips. First, focus on what's different in a good way. Write them down. And then celebrate, make sure you celebrate in your favorite way about letting those parts of your life go. Yay! Woohoo! And then paying attention to those things you're glad to be rid of. What does that mean for your future? What area of your future would you like to reconstruct? And what's important based on those things you're glad to be rid of for your future? Turn them around. What's the opposite of them? Right? And then ask yourself, okay, this is the area of reconstruction I want to do. And if I could reconstruct it any way I wanted, any way, how would I do it? What would it look like? And challenge yourself to include at least 20 details, right? And then, in order to follow through with that plan, assign yourself a time in your calendar to focus on, okay, what needs to happen first? What step? So maybe your first step of approaching the subject would be getting your planner out and writing down, like reserving with a pen, a time of your week, maybe an hour a week or 2 hours a week, that you will dedicate toward this project. Okay? And then come to that appointment with a spirit of curiosity rather than judgment. And that spirit of just noticing, I know I had this idea about this, but maybe if we switch it up, this could actually work even better. Just be open to change if necessary. And be patient about your pace. As long as you're showing up consistently, it's gonna fall out exactly how it's supposed to be. Okay? So that's my gift to you. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe below with no strings attached.